You know, I'm making these YouTube videos and I was questioning like I'm about truth, man. I'm about authenticity and I feel like there's been a complete separation between everybody knows this, man, like what's actually happening on social media, all this shit, like what's going on and like the actual a truth, but like genuine connection, man. You know what I'm saying? I just I hate to sound I say this and it might sound a little corny, but it's the truth, man. Like when you're really a part of the game, like when you're actually doing stuff, when you are really engaged with yourself, when you are in alignment with yourself, when you understand yourself and you know yourself, and that's a constant process. But when you know the skill set to not the skill set, but the mental system and the framework to make sure that you're in alignment with yourself. When you do that, like you don't fall for fake shit. You don't like fake shit actually bothers you. And for me at least, I'm sure many of you guys actually relate to this is like nonsense, fake shit, like all of us know what this is, man. Um selling to people's insecurities, making people feel a certain way so they can buy product or service or quote unquote coaching or whatever. I'm not gonna sit around and tell y'all, man, I know what the hell's going on or like how to make money, etc. I'm building a brand that stands for our own personal greatness, but I want to get my speak on it because it's crazy, man. Because outside looking in, I can just see what people are doing. It's just they're selling to these people's insecurity, their need and their longing to feel wanted or part of something, which is very important, right? Everybody as humans, we desire that need to be part of social groups and to connect with others who are similar to us, but we've gotten to a level of I hate to use the word consumerism, but a level of a weird place in society where who we are is dictated by others, and we don't even notice that. Many people don't notice that, and it's very sad to watch people take, whether consciously or unconsciously, advantage of others, like quote unquote influencers, people who just do shit and I guess share it and then they just take advantage of others. And I'll tell you straight up, man, I would never ever expect any of you guys to go out and buy my product just to fucking I don't know, because I'm cool. Like I don't try to come on here and maybe I've done this in the past and maybe it was an ego thing, but I really don't try to come on here and act like I understand what the hell's going on. This is why you see my comments. Sometimes people are like, bro, keep going, like please don't quit, is because I share that truth, and I want all of you guys to know I never quit. I like this is like I like I ain't trying to toot my own horn or like speak on myself too highly, but like I don't do that shit. Like I am locked in with myself. I'm a man of abundance. I'm trying to create and develop and to make shit from scratch, and like that's the wave I'm on. I understand like there's hard times, there's difficult times. That's for everybody, and just because I'm transparent about that doesn't mean that I'm eager for or desperate. You know what I'm saying? Something that I've written. I'm not a great speaker, but I'm a pretty good writer, and that's what I enjoy to do. Is transparency in the journey or your life or how you think or what you put out oftentimes gets mistaken for desperation from people who don't actually understand what transparency is. And I just want all of you guys to know that transparency, in the sense of what I'm doing when I'm coming on here and even this right now, is not like it's not desperation. I'm not worried about the moment or the situation that I'm in. I know that I have so much work to do. I know that Undefined is tiny. The clothing game and business is an incredibly difficult business. And if anybody's in it for money, you're not going to make shit. So yeah, long story short, I lost track of where my thought process was going, but transparency is not desperation. And so if you see me or anybody else, yourself, trying to accomplish something and you feel like this real authentic version of yourself is like you're trying to put it away because you don't want to feel like a certain type of individual, you don't want to present that to the real world. Like it's such a weird thing for me, um, to see like society push themselves down and to really like coast over. I understand some people just don't like diving deep. Maybe I think that's a thing of our awareness, our understanding of ourselves. That's a conscious decision that has turned into a subconscious one through our childhood and experiences. But many people put that down and they flatten it out. And so their entire life is this very surface level life. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. Maybe some people, outwardly don't show that, but they're very, aware internally, which is great. But I think, for what I've witnessed and the people that I've talked to, most people don't even know who they are and what they're trying to do. Basically dictate their entire life based off not others' thoughts, but what others want them to dictate it off. And then people, I hate to say take advantage of, but people take advantage of that, man. Businesses take advantage of that. Um, and I think we're entering a new era of brand concept building and just business in general and life. I think overall society and economy, where these kind of more central themes of like who you are and developing yourself is very core to a brand's identity. And that, like, whatever brand can bring out the best in you is what's going to be the brands that win moving forward. Because there's abundance now. There's so much different shit out there. And yeah, designs matter. Yeah, fashion matters. Yeah, those things do matter for sure. But it's going to get to a level where everybody is fucking good at this shit. And whether it's clothing or whether it's um, anything, man, whether it's clothing or anything really, everybody's going to be fucking good at it. And that's capitalism in a basic sense. But the big thing that's important is that we figure out how to, take that from the space and place that it's at and to update it. And I think what's really important is to take that from the space and place that it's at and just elevate, everyone around us. That's what I'm trying to do here at Undefined. And I can't speak on others, but I've seen this, and I've seen others be so enamored by what other brands, people, concepts, community, society has told them to be, that they have just adopted that, and they've never actually questioned or asked themselves like, who am I? And they just follow this path, just accepting that this is who I am, but it was actually dictated by somebody else. And I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if you get my reasoning or what I'm saying, but I think many people have lost the plot with themselves, and they've just allowed somebody else to take over that, whether that's consciously or unconsciously. And I'm not saying this is like some evil fucking plot by the world or government. That's not what we're on right now, even though there are evil plots out there that we could get into. But I think it's just like a lack of connection with self. It's a lack of understanding with self. And I think the biggest thing for me here at Undefined, and the name and concepts and everything else, the name is important, but the concept is always the same. If we had to eventually change our name, the concept is the same, and that's just living in your own personal excellence and developing yourself from within, right? Living in truth and having self-actualization. I think I don't know what the actual definition of self-actualization is, but it's development, it's creation of self, it's realization of self, in a real tangible way. So I don't know, man, just on a little yap session there with just brand and creating and making some shit happen for yourself, but also just for my business and what I'm trying to do. It's just like, how do I help you guys? It's not even you guys. It's just, how do I help you not only see yourself better, but become part of yourself better? And I think the main goal that I have now is just to live in that truth myself, and then share that as authentically as I can with stuff that I put out. And that's how I do it, right? That's my little small part in this whole equation. But um, ideally, that's everything that the brand revolves around. And it's kind of weird because this is not like a fucking fitness brand. It's not it's not a brand that oftentimes people, it's different. All right. And I understand different is good, but like it's very difficult to sell that message of like our brand is about people and for people who are trying to develop themselves. Like our brand is for people who are the artists of life, who are going out there and just maneuvering through life in alignment with themselves and in truth, right? And those concepts are kind of broad, and I understand maybe I still need to work on those definitions and kind of putting it into my own head on how I'm going to serve these people better. But I think, storytelling, product development, how we can add to people's lives beneficially, like genuinely add to everybody's life, whether they buy a product, whether they buy a simple product, or whether they consume literally everything that we do, or whatever it might be, man. However we do that, I think that's what's most important. And just getting, having additions to people's lives, positive additions to somebody is what I care about, man. I don't want people to just buy the product to buy it. Like I want them to buy it and then, hey, obviously they have a great product. The shit lasts. It's something that's worth their time and their money. But then on top of that, it's done in truth and it has meaning, and then it also has an emotional, connection with an individual, because they know that once I put this on, like this is like this brand represents something and I represent that. Like I understand that same concept, but I'm not affected by the brand. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not wearing the brand to be somebody. I am who I am, and the brand just complements that. That's, I think, that was pretty good. I need to save that for myself because that was like an aha moment right there. Because other brands, it's like I wear this brand to be something. And for me, I never want that. Like I don't want that. I don't want that to be what Undefined's about. I want people to be able to be themselves, be in truth, like live in truth. And I know that just sounds taboo, but live with themselves and live in alignment. And then anything that they put on, like from Undefined, it's just a compliment to that. It's like, you know, it's like this brand represents that truth too, and that's why I want to wear it. But it's not making me somebody. I already am, and I just align with this, and that's why I'm wearing that. And maybe that's what other brands do too. I guess I don't know, but I think oftentimes we are, we're looking around, and I think people are in a state of consumerism because they're trying to fill a void within themselves. They're trying to purchase, 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 be part of this club and that thing, and get all into all these different areas and post on social media so you can get validation, etc. And they're doing all this shit, and it's not in truth, right? It's just to fill a fucking void that they don't have with themselves. And I can't prey on those. I can't add to that. I will never add to that. I can't do that. Um, and so if most people are not going to get it, that's fine, man. We're still going to make great products. So if you don't get the overall deeper message, that's great because our product is still going to be amazing. But I'm not targeting those people, man. It's going to be really truly targeted to people who are trying to live in their own truth and to accomplish something within themselves, to self-actualize. And I hope I just have a good product and a brand that, you know, people who are doing that want to wear but also appreciate because of, good business practice, but also the meaning and message behind the name and the concept that we, put out. But it's difficult, man, because you see social media, you see how people are winning and doing this whole thing. Don't for any moment think that I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? I got an office, I'm doing all this shit, and it's difficult. It's hard. Business is very difficult, and there are stuff that I still have yet to learn. It's obviously a learning experience. I'm not here to moan and bitch. I feel like I've had only 6 months of learning, or maybe even less. And prior to that, all the time has just been as a hobby. But now it's like, okay, how do I really truly make something that's exceptional here? And I've been diving into that. But it's been interesting, man. you know, I think the biggest plus for me has been I've been able to learn myself, and that's what's allowed me to shift myself into this brand, and create something that I care about. It's a never-ending process, but undefined is a way of life for me. It's an expression of self. It's an understanding of self, And that's what the whole brand is about, man. Just living in truth. Wherever, whoever you are today doesn't mean you're going to be somebody tomorrow. And whoever you are tomorrow is equally as good as who you are today. And it's an all constantly evolving process. You just have to live in complete alignment without being caught up in the mental chains and frameworks that the world has told us we got to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. I am. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a little bit of yap right there. A long bit of a yap actually, but I think there was something in there. Thursday, Thursday, um, Thursday, October 24th. Holy shit, time flies, man. Wow.